What do 40-year-old perpetual man children Dale Doback and Brennan Huff have in common? Dale's father and Brennan's mother fell in love and recently married, and now two grown-ass men who never left home are forced to get along. What starts out as pure hatred evolves into best friendship, but their antics start to strain their parents' marriage in the 2008 comedy classic Step Brothers. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre,
I'm Caleb J.
and this is Filmgazm. Welcome to the Filmgazm podcast. Our anniversary spotlights continue with one of the funniest comedies of the 2000s, Step Brothers, which is celebrating 15 years this year. Hard to believe it's been that long. I know you love this movie. I love this movie. Do you remember your first time watching Step Brothers?
Yeah, I had seen it at a buddy's place. So I remember, I think I was either in middle school or like maybe freshman year of high school when this film first came out, and a buddy had it at his place when I was over one day. I was like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. Watched it, had a great time with it, absolutely loved it. And I've just been in love with it since, and just like it's at a point now, like, Jesus, I'll be 31 next month. Oh boy. Or watching like this and a lot of the comedies from that era, I get real nostalgic now while also really liking it, because you just, and this is not me, I don't, by all means, I don't want to get on the whole political rant with it, but obviously as we've gotten a lot more vocal, a lot of people are getting more vocal about things that offend them and stuff like that, the quote unquote woke culture, as a lot of people like call it, PC culture. You don't get a lot of comedies like this that are willing to push boundaries and like say things that could potentially offend you in the pursuit of comedy. So like watching these, not only do I still just have a great time watching these, it's almost nostalgic for that time when we got comedies like this consistently because of people like Judd Apatow and Seth Rogen and Will Ferrell, and these guys that were just huge at this time.
Yeah, I miss the time when we just didn't take ourselves so damn seriously, when we could just laugh. I do miss that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, these films aren't going anywhere. We'll always have them. 2008 especially was a fucking great year for comedy. There's a lot of movies that could have helped, that could have taken this spot. Like Tropic Thunder comes to mind.
God, I love that movie so much. I stand by it, and I'm saying this as someone who, now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the hugest Tom Cruise fan. So before you all come at me with your pitchforks about his performances in other films, I hear you. Tropic Thunder is still my favorite performance he's ever done. He's so goddamn funny in that movie.
Yeah, we've got plans for Tropic Thunder eventually, so that will happen. But right now, yeah, Step Brothers was just something I think as a team we all just find hysterical, and was like we just really wanted to talk about. And yeah, guys like Adam McKay, who came up doing great comedy, now kind of transitioned to drama. He's an Oscar-winning filmmaker now with The Big Short and Vice and stuff, and they're great films. But I think this is his masterpiece.
Yeah, and that's our big thing. Obviously, I made the comment about like obviously culture as in and of itself changing what comedy. And look, again, just to like put that out there, you have every right to get like offended by what you get offended by. You have every right to that. I'm not saying you shouldn't get offended by something if you do. I just kind of miss days when we took chances with comedies. But also the other thing was like you said, a lot of these guys transition out, right? Like, Adam McKay started focusing on more like dramas and political comedies with like The Big Short and Don't Look, what was it? Don't Look Up. I was about to say Don't Look Now, but that's a whole different movie. Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
Don't Look Now is a way different film than Don't Look Up.
Not very funny either. Not very funny.
Not very funny. It's a whole different decade. All sort of stuff. He transitioned that. Seth Rogen, he already had a lot of background and behind the scenes stuff. He wrote a lot of his movies he did with his writing partner and friend Evan Goldberg. But obviously, as the years are gone, he's focused a lot more on behind the scenes stuff. He's a big, he is one of the driving forces behind the prime hit and The Boys and now Gen V. So a lot, and Will Ferrell hasn't really done as many comedies as he used to. And mainly, a lot of his new ones haven't taken off quite as well. So it's also just been a matter of like they've all kind of transitioned to different things. Paul Rudd's now fucking Ant-Man, for Christ's sakes, in the MCU. Like they've all kind of done that thing. But yeah, I do this era in general, and yeah, Step Brothers to me is just one of the best to come out of this era of a decade in the 2000s, but we just got just great comedy after great comedy. It felt like.
Yeah, and I love that this year we've started to see a resurgence of like the raunchy comedy with films like Joyride and No Hard Feelings and Bottoms, which were all hysterical fucking movies. They really were funny as hell. So I'm glad that we're finding our funny bone again, and we're getting great comedy again.
Yeah, I did get worried with No Hard Feelings because a lot of people came out about like the plotline of the film and the whole like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence is in her 30s and he's supposed to be 18 and that's just icky and gross. So what about how many movies and TV shows have you watched where the dude is in his 60s banging a fucking 30-year-old? Get over your high horse.
Kid's legal. He's 18.
And also, that's what I'm
no 18-year-old virgin who is getting seduced by Jennifer Lawrence is upset about it.
Yeah, exactly. They're not like it's Jennifer Lawrence. He's only, I think he was like 19 technically in the movie anyway. And he was graduated from high school, like he was going to college, so he's a fucking adult. And again, like I said, Jennifer Lawrence.
We got to stop finding problems where there are not problems.
Yes, and again, it's a double standard because how many times have we watched something with a male lead is significantly older than the female lead, and we say nothing about it? I watched the show Yellowstone. There was a plot line where Kevin Costner, who's in his 60s, right? I believe, was banging a chick that was in her fucking 30s and 40s. No one cried foul of that at all. But man, we reversed it all of a sudden. It's gross. Luckily, though, the point of that was like I got worried when I saw it. I was like, Jesus Christ, people, let it. It's a movie where they're both consenting adults. Luckily, it seemed like that kind of got squashed. A lot of people were like, basically, most of the crowd just went, "Hey, shut up! Jennifer Lawrence gets naked for 5 minutes. Be quiet."
Yeah, that movie was. I think it's on Netflix now. It was hysterical. I recommend checking it out as soon as possible.
I have seen that one, and mainly it had a lot to do with that whole the beach scene. I won't lie to myself. The movie ended up being really funny and really good, but my God,
you are shallower than a kiddie pool, and that's why I love you.
At least I can admit it.
I
admit straight up, one of my driving forces in seeing that movie.
It was hot. I'm not gonna lie, it was hot. It was also funny as hell because she's butt ass naked on the beach kicking everyone's ass.
And mostly ain't kicked their ass. It was actually really funny.
Step Brothers, I saw for the first time when I was 13 when this came out. So I was probably 14 or 15. This I was watching with my mom because we went and saw Anchorman, Talladega Nights, like Elf. I was a Will Ferrell fan, but I was a PG-13 Will Ferrell fan. And I hadn't seen like Old School yet or anything like that. So
Old School is so good. So good.
Fucking hysterical. The Alamo Draft House I used to work at had a sign in the break room. It was the Mitchapalooza with Luke Wilson's face on it.
We're going shrieking. Yeah, who else, Tank? Yeah, they're you don't see them, but they're coming. They're here. Is it cold outside, Tank?
So yeah, we were watching it. It starts out very raunchy. I watch it with my mom. I'm an early teenager, so I'm getting a little like, oh God, a little awkward. And then Will Ferrell whips out his nutsack, rubs it on a drum set, and that TV went off. So Yeah, was no longer watching Step Brothers. Took a few more years for me to like find the movie again, and then I watched it and I fell in love immediately. I thought this is the funniest shit I've seen in years. I loved it, and it's been a firm favorite of mine ever since.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure our quick joke on this one. I'm sure porn's favorite too, because you cannot tell me that the parody title for this was a quick one.
You really don't even need to. I mean, if it's a gay porn, you don't really need to change the title at all.
All you do is take out the "there's" Step Bros.
Oh my god. A lot of the letterbox reviews that were a lot of them were porn parody, like, porn jokes. Respect. Um
Good for them.
yeah, low hanging fruit, but low hanging fruit still tastes good.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Look, when I respect the hell out of those titles. Someone sits in a fucking office and thinks of those goddamn things.
Yeah, nothing will ever top Shaving Ryan's Privates
God,
or The Shawshank Erection.
Hills Have Thighs.
I That's good. That's
Yeah,
good. Like
that one I did accidentally watch because I legitimately we had Cinemax free for like a weekend, and I dumbly thought, oh hey, Hills Have Eyes, the actual film, The Hills Have Eyes. I was like, I'll watch that before I go to bed. I put it on. I was like, this is not The Hills Have Eyes. I looked again. Yeah, it was The Hills Have Thighs.
Did it take you until you saw Full Penetration to realize you were watching the wrong movie?
No, when I saw that the mutants were super hot women, I went, wait a minute.
You know what? I wish that like they would have gotten Michael Berryman for that too. I I bet he has the most interesting looking dick on earth. I bet he does.
I don't want to see it, but okay.
A man with no sweat glands and no hair, that's gonna look fascinating.
You think it ever like smells down there because he has no sweat glands?
Yes, I bet he smells like a swamp. Like just like I bet he smells like Victor Crowley.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like imagine just Victor Crowley's chasing you, and instead of ripping you in half, he grabs your head and just forces it in his armpit and closes the arm.
Dude, that's worse than death. Like, kill me at that point, man.
You will die. It's just going to take a while.
Oh God.
But yeah, I've wondered about that. Like I don't know what he's packing, but I bet it doesn't look like your average. Yeah.
I've never thought about that. I'm glad you have. Before we get back on track, another interesting title that I'm going to throw out there that I saw. We didn't have it that free weekend, so I cannot report to how the filming of it was. But the Cloverfield porn parody, is called Cleavage Field.
That's lazy.
Yeah.
Beaver Field makes more sense to me.
Yeah, Cleavage Field. There's also more. I forget what they call it for the Da Vinci Code, but apparently it's like a magical cock ring they got to find. It's weird.
Da Vinci cock, probably.
Yeah, look, I forget the title. I just know anytime there's a Cinemax free weekend as a teenager.
I don't like porn parodies where it's like horror, where it's like hot Pennywise and shit like that. I don't like that. That's unnerving to me. I don't want to see. I don't want to see sexy mutants like fucking in the desert. I don't want to see that.
I don't care because like Halloween's already like honed in on like sexy costumes anyway. So I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. Halloween's already made this a thing. Like, what's a porn parody? How worse is that going to be?
It's worse. I don't want to see, Freddy takes off the sweater and he's got massive cans. I don't want to see that.
Or a super burnt dick. You don't want to see that?
Ugh.
I want to come in your dreams now, Nancy.
Jesus. You've clearly watched it already.
No, I don't even know the fucking title. It's just a Nightmare on Elm Street XXX porn parody. I know that's a Halloween one, apparently. They didn't even try.
Okay, so my question to you, this movie has a moment, an infamous moment, where Richard Jenkins imparts some life wisdom upon his boys and tells them about his own dream where he always wanted to be a dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
It's one of the dumbest most hilarious moments ever, because even they're like, why are you doing this? Like, what, how is that a skill? What are you talking about? And he ultimately tells them about his lifelong dream was to be a dinosaur, and he thought, I'll go to medical school and I'll come back to it. But he lost it. He lost his dinosaur. And that's his advice. Don't lose your dinosaur. I love that little like, yeah, he gives after that thing. Like, yeah, that is good advice.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we took a long time to get there, but it makes sense.
So my question to you is, when you were a kid, what was your dinosaur? What was your dream? What was your unattainable, ridiculous, I want to be that when I grow up dream when you were a kid?
Right. Oh man. For me, I really, really, really told myself I was going to be the next Stephen King. Ever since I read, it as a kid, which was my first Stephen King book, which word of advice to anyone first getting to Stephen King, unless you really don't care, don't go for his thicker books like It and The Stand first. Build up to that. Or do what I did and read it first, and then that's how you get into King. Um, so as a kid, when I first read it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the next Stephen King. Without really doing any of, the I should get better at writing. I should do this. Just a dumb kid dinosaur dream, to quote Richard Jenkins here. Then I got older and went, ooh, not obtainable for me because I don't have the patience to sit there and write the way he does.
Yeah, that's a lofty goal. That man's production schedule is insane. I saw he's got a fucking another one.
I was about to say, he has another book coming out. Apparently, he has a sequel to Cujo. It's like a short story collection with a sequel to Cujo in there.
Yeah, which is neat. I don't think there's a Saint Bernard because that didn't the dog die.
I mean, does he even remember the story? He did it on a weekend high off cocaine.
Yeah, who knows what that story's going to be about.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. I get that. You're a kid, you read a scary book, and you're like, I want to do this, but you don't quite
Yeah.
realize how labor intensive and difficult it is to put together a book.
Yeah. And crazy is it took me like Stephen King. Like I was already reading like Goosebumps. Are you not afraid? That was a TV show. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Not confused with the movie adaptation we recently got. So it's not like I was reading other stuff. For some reason, King. It was King that I went, I'm gonna be the next Stephen King. I was reading other shit.
I like that. I think what was my first King? I think it was The Shining. I checked it out from my high school library. Ninth grade, I was still in Maryland, and that's when I started really reading King. And it was either The Shining or a paperback of Carrie that I had gotten from a used bookstore and didn't realize it was missing the first like 20 pages. So I just jumped into Carrie and thought like, oh, she's in the shower. All right, what's going on here? Like there was no introduction, and I just thought that's how the book started.
We're already in the shower. Wow.
Yeah,
Dude, I remember when I first got in King. Obviously I was like I was old enough that I had the talk, and like it was insane going from like Goosebumps and stuff like that to reading sex scenes, and like in King's early works, that shit was descriptive.
Yeah, and age truly was just a number.
Yeah, I to this day I do not understand why he just doubles down so hard on that whole like
He's had so many opportunities to just say like it was the coke. Like you got an out, man. Take it.
yeah, it's not. I don't want to say orgy. That's not the right thing. It's a train. For those who know what that term means.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite the bonding experience.
Oh yes, a bonding experience told in very descriptive detail involving children I did not need in my life.
No, I actually stopped reading the book. I've never finished it because I stopped at that point. I'm like, I don't
So
read this anymore.
when I first that my intro book, I didn't finish it then. Then I recently bought like when the new film came out, they came out with the new paperbacks. Got that and actually the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, the story's really hard to keep going after that. I'm like, I don't. Luckily, it happens towards the end, so you're already close to the end of the book. I'm like, I really didn't need that going to the end of this novel.
I just started later. Still working on King.
Later was a good one. I liked it.
Kind
Oh,
of
dude,
tired of psychic kids. Not gonna lie.
yeah. Oh, dude, I'm still like 2 books behind. So he announced this new short story thing. I still got to read Fairy Tale and Holly.
I still haven't touched Billy Summers or Sleeping Beauties. Like I'm very behind.
Billy Summers was good. I really like Billy Summers. Sleeping Beauty is way better than I thought. I really enjoyed that one.
Well, now that I've got a lot more time on my hands, I'm going to try to zoom through some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of you.
Yeah. So that was your dinosaur.
Yeah. For me, this next great horror writer, and here I am.
Mine was a little more loftier. When I was in elementary school, I had it in my head that one day I was going to be president. And everyone in my class was like, all right. They just agreed and encouraged me, like, yeah, okay. Because I knew a lot about the presidents. I knew a lot of history facts. This was like fourth grade. And yeah, I just was like, I'm going to be president one day. And then the more I learned about the presidency, the more I learned about the people who had it, the less respect I started to have for the office. And that just grew. And now I think I'd make a good president, but only because I'm aware of the problems in our country and I'm not 80 years old. So I think qualifications have kind of gone out the window. I don't want to get really that political, but yeah, I don't want to be president anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you on that one.
Yeah.
I know after I turned away from my dream of being the next great horror author of America. I definitely, that's when I kind of got into my film kick, and I was like, ooh, maybe I can be a director. And obviously that didn't happen either. I'm in the military now. But yeah, that was my next goal. Maybe one day I'll achieve these dreams, who knows?
Well, I mean, my dream shifted after I started writing and actually realized that I am pretty good at it. And I actually did write a few books.
I did achieve one of my goals. All right. I achieved something. When I was a kid, first getting into metal, right? And the good old heavy metal music. I noticed all the rock stars, they got their sleeve tattoos, right? I told myself, I'm going to get a sleeve tattoo, bro. That's one on both my arms. And I can truthfully say that here I am at the age of 30 with a full sleeve tattoo on my right arm.
There you go.
I achieved that. I would like to do my left arm, sleeve up my left arm also, but I just haven't done it yet.
It's, it's like that famous George W. Bush quote that's displayed at the beginning of the movie. Families is where our nation finds hope, where wings take dream. He really fucking said that.
I know he did.
The president. Yet more evidence of why I don't want that job.
I mean, I don't want to get too political. I was about to say, I'll make a Texas joke. I was like, but I'm not going to get too political here.
Yeah. But
yeah, I just want to point that out. I did achieve, I guess, something. I spent quite a bit of money to get my left arm sleeved up with horror tattoos.
You've achieved more than that. You're in the military. I am gotten quite accomplished there.
I'm actually very accomplished in the military for my my pay grade.
There you go. Yeah, and it's never too late to write something.
Exactly. Actually, technically, in a way, I have gone back to writing in the sense of like what we do for the website and obviously Letterboxd and stuff. I just found something that is less labor intensive and I enjoy more.
Yeah, I've gotten so far away from fiction writing that honestly, I'm having trouble getting back into it. I think I'm gonna maybe try my hand at some short stories, kind of recharge the juices. So I've got a fourth novel I'm working on, and I want to finish it, preferably by next spring.
Mm-hmm. And technically with our movie stuff, right? I may not be my lefty goes directing, but here I am doing a film podcast for funsies.
There you go. Your dreams might not look the way you plan them to look, but they're still gonna be there.
There's still something to achieve.
Yeah. This is fun.
It is. You know what? On that note, I'm gonna drink from my Killer Clowns cup.
You do that. All right. So we found our dinosaurs, and hopefully we have not truly lost them. Don't lose your dinosaur.
Never lose your dinosaur. Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah. I have a funny I have a story about that whole scene I'm going to get to in a second here. But first up, Step Brothers is the third of 5 collaborations between writer-director Adam McKay and comedy legend Will Ferrell. The two had an unfortunate falling out recently in 2019 over the HBO series Winning Time, in which Will Ferrell was originally cast as the series lead and then unceremoniously let go because McKay felt he didn't really inhabit the role that much, and he was replaced by John C. Reilly. And McKay did not tell Ferrell this. Reilly told him. And Ferrell took this very personally, and apparently the two have not spoken since.
Yeah, I saw that Adam McKay talks about that when I think people were bringing up like, you guys ever go on it was kind of about, would you ever go back to like the comedy well of like this stuff and do something with those two again? And he kind of made the mention. He goes, "We're not talking," and then he explained that why. And to his credit, he kind of did fess up and say like, "I handled it poorly." When he was talking about it, from what I remember, like he did kind of say like, "Look, I didn't handle it very well, and I should not have to let John be the one to tell Will why I should have been the one to say that." So he goes, "It sucks. I would love to make amends, but apparently, like he has tried to reach out," and Will Ferrell's like, "No, dude."
You think Ferrell's being a little petty here?
A little bit. I mean, I can get it, especially because like that the film industry, as we've learned over the years, is very cutthroat. There's a lot of assholes in it, obviously. So when you have something like these group of friends, right? You don't want you these are good stories you like to hear. Like when obviously like you're like Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, right? How long they've been working together. And obviously you had the unfortunate shit going down with like James Franco, right? Um that you thought like when something like this happens, like you get why they feel hurt because who do you trust in this industry? It's something, I listen to a lot of like movie podcasts and they talk about that. Like it's hard to trust people in this industry because everyone's like just trying to get their next thing made, honestly. And so to an extent, I get it, but at the same time, yeah, like, dude, it's your friend, and if he's showing genuine remorse and wants to make amends, like, grow up. You're only getting older. Like, and let's be honest, to Will Ferrell, like I said, a lot of his newer comedies have not been hitting quite like this era of his stuff was. Not saying he isn't still a comedy legend, he fucking is, but it hasn't been hitting the way it has. So like, why not just like put ego aside and like make amends? Especially if Adam McKay is showing genuine remorse and guilt over what happened.
It doesn't seem worth throwing away a friendship like this. It really does, especially since like it seems like him and John C. Reilly are cool. Consider with the recent Boats and Hose performance with Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like there might be something more here that we're not hearing about. Maybe, or it could just be Will Ferrell got fired by his friend and didn't hear about it from his friend, which could have, that could really hurt. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love to see them reteam with it like an original thing. I don't need a sequel to any of this stuff. I would like an original idea. But we'll see.
Yeah, maybe one day, hopefully, we get something. But if not, other than Holmes and Watson, we have this great set of films to lean back on.
I have not seen that, and I don't plan to.
Yeah, we're not going to forget about that one. It exists, and no one likes it.
Can't believe that's the movie where Ralph Fiennes played Professor Moriarty. That is like the perfect casting, and that's the fucking movie it happened in.
And think about this, that's the last time they collaborated. That was their last one they all three collaborated on together.
That is a tragedy. For that alone, we need anything else. So Ferrell and Reilly largely improvised most of the movie, only falling back on the script when they really needed to. The way they would work is they'd had the script, but they would start with just shooting out whatever came to mind and then work backwards from there.
I feel like that is what makes so many of the films from this era of comedy work, because they would do that. Seth Rogen talked about numerous times. That's how he did a lot of his comedies. Judd Apatow talked about like that's how he filmed a lot of his comedies with these guys. Was like they would have a script, but then just riff like crazy.
Well, I mean, you can. I've heard writing comedy is the hardest thing to write because you can't really, what's funny to you might not be funny to someone else. It's completely subjective, and planning it is fucking almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest comedy is off the cuff in the moment. And that's why these improvised bits work so well. It's because these guys know how to work with one another. They know how to make each other laugh, and that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, like it doesn't. It's what Anchorman 2 actually. Did you ever see that outtake where like Will Ferrell is doing the scene when he's blind
Yeah.
and he's talking about masturbating and he's like comparing it to Pompeii and like he almost can't finish the joke because he's laughing and like Paul Rudd's trying not to laugh and he's like, but instead of hot lava, it's my they get they get washed over by my frothy cum or something like that, or frothy ejaculate. Once he finally spits out, I mean, they died. Like as soon as he finally spits it out, they die. But like, yeah, it's like it's to the point where like because they riff so much, the outtakes are worth watching. Like, because again, yeah, like you can have a script for at least a general story, but like I said, like planning a comedy is difficult. Like, like you're trying to make people laugh. So like you take these guys that have worked together, they're really good at what they do. And like I said, I mean, Judd Apatow, Rogan, Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd, like all these guys, Jonah Hill before all the weird shit has been going down with him. And you just say, hey, we have a script, but just riff. You're going to get your best material out of them that way.
Yeah, straight up. In fact, their improv skills intimidated established character actors Mary Steenburgen and Richard Jenkins at first, but the two found their own footing. Jenkins even improvised his famous dinosaur speech towards the end. In a 2022 interview with Unilad, Jenkins explained how that scene came about. All of that was him, just in the moment, which is fucking genius. So this is what Richard Jenkins said about that. It was the dinosaur speech that you talked about. I was sitting there at the Catalina wine mixer, and Adam McKay said to me, "Go tell Will and John that you wanted to be a dinosaur when you were young." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, just go tell them. I said, "Adam, what the hell are you talking about?" Just, hey, Richard, this will be funny. Go tell them you wanted to be a dinosaur.
I love that. Like no prompt or anything. Just say, I know something that'd be really funny, by the way.
So it was not scripted. He just came along. He said, "Go tell them." So like, whatever. And I started talking, and both of them kept saying to me, "That's just not possible. What are you talking about?" They were just like, "What?" And I came back home thinking that won't be in the movie. And Adam said, "Oh, yes, it would." And it's one of the funniest fucking moments of the movie because this super put together doctor who has his life together at one point thought his life was going to be being a dinosaur, and he was totally okay with that.
Yeah, and you kind of see his old kid self pop out.
Yeah, he's doing the arms and shit. Yeah.
I love like Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly just looking at him like, what the fuck?
I love he's like, my dad said, come, like, you got to abandon childish things. What he really said was quit being a fucking dinosaur and get a job. Oh my God. Yeah, it's fucking genius. Adam McKay had a moment of like just light bulb appear over his head. Thought, oh my God. And yeah, I bet that happened throughout the entire shoot. Just, hey, this will be funny. And
oh yeah. When a lot of times I think they've talked about it on this movie and a lot of times in other like comedies from that era, when they would get these actors like Richard Jenkins and Mary Steenburgen, who are much more established in the sense of like they did more serious dramas in their comedies. I don't think if they did them were not like this. They were much more scripted. That a lot of times the actors talk about all the time that they know they're doing it if they can get them laughing. So they will just sit there and riff until they get them just dying laughing. And that was like no, in a lot I think for this film or some other films, that's a lot of time for these guys. They're like their gauge to see how well they're doing. It's like, okay, if we can get them fucking cracking up, we might hopefully have something here.
Well, and also I bet there's a whole thing of like, I'm gonna break the like the established guy. Like I'm gonna crack them up. I'm top dog here. They're in my house, that kind of thing.
Yeah, unless it's fucking Ice Cube, apparently.
Yeah, the only thing that makes Ice Cube laugh is Ice Cube. I love that story. Sitting in the back watching fucking Friday.
Yeah. That, for anyone who doesn't know, that was a reference to when Ice Cube was in the 21 Jump Street reboot films. Channing Tatum and the at the time not problematic Jonah Hill um were trying so hard to make him laugh. You can see in the bloopers on that movie where they just actively are trying to make him laugh, and he just stares at them stone cold. And yeah, apparently he laughed at his own movie Friday that he was watching on a plane.
You got to admire the balls, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it's like telling yourself a joke. It's kind of weird, but if it's funny, laugh it up.
yeah,
Oh boy, yeah. Step Brothers was a big hit, grossing 128 million on a budget of 65 million. Surprisingly, it was met with mixed reviews from critics and fans upon release. It has an IMDb score of 6.9, Rotten Tomatoes score of 55%, and an audience score of 69%. Critics' consensus reads, Step Brothers indulges in a cheerfully relentless immaturity that will quickly turn off viewers unamused by Ferrell and Riley and delight those who find their antics hilarious. Yeah, no shit. If you like Will Ferrell, you're going to like this Will Ferrell movie. How
yeah.
insightful.
Also, the plot line of the film is two fucking 40-something-year-olds still acting like children living with their parents. You weren't going to get smart comedy out of this. It was meant to be crude. It's meant to be juvenile. That is the point of this type of humor.
Yeah. I've been around my fair share of man children. This is pretty goddamn accurate.
Yes. Very accurate. And like, look, I'll say this about this. Like, I'm actually really surprised with the audience thinks. Most people I know who have seen this film when I mention I'm watching it, or like when I talk about comedies, will tell you like, "Oh man, Step Brothers is funny. It's hilarious." Like I've met very few people who don't like this film. The most I will say is this, and this guy goes back to what we talked about at the beginning with the changing times and what's okay and what's not okay to say. When it comes to these films like Step Brothers and all these films in this era, yes, if you are showing someone that wasn't that's not like I said, I'm gonna be 31 next month. I was born in 92. But someone obviously something younger, I would at the very least, because of the crudeness of the humor and some of the things that come out of their mouth, I would say, hey, look, be aware, these are the things they're going to say. If it's not your type of thing, don't watch it. Like watch a different comedy.
That used to be the conversation you had to have with somebody before you showed them a horror movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me. Hey, can I watch this? I think I want to watch the sadness. Well, hold on. Let's sit down here. Let's take a minute.
That's insane. I hope when I have children, I have raised them to just be okay with shit like this.
Yeah. Because like what like and this is even worse. I remember actually I forgot, like I watched Superbad a couple years ago again for like after a while, and I was like, fuck, this is definitely a film that like it'd be like, look, they say a certain word that's considered a slur that starts with an F. Like quite a bit in this movie, just so you know. If it's not your type of thing, don't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Step Brothers is that problematic. I think it's aged pretty well. I think it's just dumb for the most part. It's not really
I think it was mostly
offensive to
no.
anybody.
Yeah. Even the rape joke they make, I'm sorry, it's fucking funny. Like when he looked at me with the craziest look in his eyes and said, let's get it on. I was talking about the fight. I'm not a raper.
Oh, I really thought he was gonna yeah, that's funny as hell. That's yeah, there's so many moments like that. And it's not a rape joke, it's a stupid joke.
Yeah, it's a really dumb joke. It's just like, yeah, why would you think he was going to do that? You're having a fight.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to get into this proper. So there's been persistent talk of a sequel ever since the film's release. Adam McKay has changed his tune again and again, as have Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. There's quite a extensive history of them kind of referring to the Step Brothers sequel that never was. So I'm going to go ahead and real quick just kind of go through the history of that. First popped up in 2008. McKay was interviewed about a possible sequel, and he said, quote, "We're kicking around the idea of Step Brothers 2. We feel like there's way more fat to be mined there. While it isn't quite the legend that Anchorman is, it has built kind of a nice following. We think it could be a pretty fun one." I think it's a little weird to refer to one of your own movies as a legend.
Yeah, and the fact that just immediately be like, it hasn't quite got on the level of Anchorman. I mean, yeah, but that's Anchorman. I mean, that's just considered, that's just one of the best comedies I think ever fucking made. Actually, I do like Anchorman 2 quite a bit. I'll say it.
I haven't seen Anchorman 2 in a while. I think it's okay. I like the first Anchorman. I do think Step Brothers is funnier.
Oh, bold take, hot take, ladies and gentlemen.
This is my favorite Ferrell McKay collaboration. Second place, probably the other guys.
The other guys is so funny.
That movie's underrated as shit. That movie's hysterical.
We want to aim for the bushes. Aim for the bushes. There goes my hero.
Hey, let me tell you something. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
So there's a killer over on Rosemont. Oh wait, no, that's from my other job. But if you live on that road, you should be worried.
Better do this right, because I don't want no scrubs.
Gator gets his gun back, bitch.
Oh my god, Gator don't play no shit. You feel me? Gator never been about that. Never been about playing no shit.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Has anyone told him that peacocks don't fly?
God, oh my, yeah.
I love the running joke of him like being so attracted to Ferrell's wife, who's played by Eva Mendes, and like Ferrell's like, yeah, she's basically like ugly. He just mistreats her, and he's like, Alan, are you kidding me right now?
I love when he blurts out at the dinner table, "Why are you with Alan?" No, well, that's not what I meant. I meant, how did you meet?
How did you get so good at tap dancing? I was taking a class.
He did it to mock the guy who knew how to do it up the street. Just,
are you dirty Mike and the boys? We will have sex in your car.
It will happen again. That's my favorite Mark Wahlberg movie. It's one of my favorite Michael Keaton performances. Did you ever see the accompanied Funny or Die video where Will Ferrell's doing the like NYPD recruitment video?
No.
I found it recently. It is so funny. Is they're fucking with him the whole time. Like they keep changing the prompter and he keeps saying dumb shit and he gets increasingly more pissed off.
God.
It's great. Okay, so after McKay said, like, yeah, we have an idea, we're kicking it around, he added, in this version, Ferrell and Riley's characters would be mature, they'd have jobs. One of them's married and has a kid. They're still kind of goofballs, but they've taken 3 or 4 steps. Then we have an idea for something happens that knocks them back to square one. One of the brothers, John C. Reilly, sort of instigates it. Like, we can't take this anymore. Things go really bad. Their lives kind of fall apart, and they have to pull it back together. That's the sort of basic structure. They said they were going to use a lot of ideas that didn't make it into the first movie.
Are we saying that John C. Reilly's character would have been married to Catherine Hahn finally, and Will Ferrell would have been married to his therapist, played by Andrea Savage? I forget she's played by Andrea Savage. So I watch him like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. She plays this role.
I don't think he would be married to Catherine Hahn because he was like actively scared of her and trying to escape.
This is true.
So that was then. Then it came up again in February 2014 when Adam McKay spoke to Empire. And this was he said this was right about Anchorman 2 just come out, and he was like, this is the last sequel we're ever going to do. There's nothing more fun to me than new characters in a new world. We're totally satisfied. We're never doing Anchorman 3, Step Brothers 2. Like, he did not enjoy, I don't think he liked doing Anchorman 2.
Doesn't sound like, and I love that he mentions Anchorman 3 when no one was asking about Anchorman 3.
Yeah, he's like, we're not doing it.
Okay, wasn't asking. Moving on. Look, say what you will about Anchorman 2. Steve Carell is still so goddamn good as Brick in that movie.
When he shows up crying at his own funeral.
Yes.
My God. Brick was such a good man.
Brick, you're not dead. I'm not dead. When he wears the CGI fucking pants, so he thinks he lost his legs. Where are my legs?
I love Champ's fucking like seedy ass fried chicken restaurant where he's using bats. You know what they call them? Chicken of the cave. Oh my God. Yeah, it's got its moments. It does have its moments.
I mean, look, it's not Anchorman 1 with the classic lines of, Saint Diego means a Wells for China. Nope. I'm pretty sure it means Saint Diego, like the saint when in Rome.
The second one does have one of my favorite insults ever. It's like, it's right towards the beginning when Dylan Baker shows up to like convince Ron Burgundy to come back to the news. And Ron just says, no offense, but you are a stupid asshole. And then the whole fucking like anchor fight with like all the established actors and fucking Harrison Ford's werewolf and like psychic Greg Kinnear and all that dumb shit.
Just keeps escalating. Fucking Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn come back for it.
Oh yeah, it's something. It's I won't say it's great, but it's something.
Yeah.
So 2014 interview with Collider, McKay started to feel a little bit more inclined towards maybe doing something for Step Brothers 2. And he said, "We have a whole story for Step Brothers 2, an outline that we're happy with. We were ready to go, and you know the story. We got the call on Anchorman 2. We're not going to do it now because we just did a sequel. I don't want to get into the sequel business too much. It was kind of a novelty to do one of them, and it was certainly very interesting, and I had never done anything like it. So I want to go make some original movies. Or, you know, The Big Short is an adaptation, but do some different stuff. So who knows? 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years. I mean, the funny thing with Step Brothers is if those guys are in their 50s, it still works. So we could easily return to that. But for now, no sequels. So I don't know if they have a script or they have an outline or they have nothing or they're not planning to make anything.
And
They're being pretty vague about this.
Well, see, can we trace all this back to pre and post Holmes and Watson?
Yeah. Ugh. February 2017, Will Ferrell said in an interview with Rolling Stone, there are currently no plans for a sequel to Step Brothers. November 2020, John C. Reilly said in an interview with Conan, like a lot of artists, all three of us felt like unless we were really sure we could make a better version or improve on what it is, let's leave it alone. Sequels are hard to pull off. So as it stands now, there is no Step Brothers 2. And I don't think we need one. Step Brothers is fine. Comedy sequels rarely work. Let's just not try.
Out of all the comments, I can agree with that one the most with John C. Reilly. Like, look, unless you have a solid idea to build on this forward, it doesn't need to happen just because apparently it has a good cult following and fans want a sequel. Like, it's okay to have one really good fucking movie.
I think of the three of them, John C. Reilly is the most approachable and most honest.
Yes.
Adam McKay seems like he doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and Will Ferrell seems like he wants to hurt everybody's feelings.
Yeah. It's like you said. I mean, look at the comedy films that have gotten sequels, right? Like, again, I know I'm probably on an island defending Anchorman 2 because I know a lot of people aren't as into it as the first one. You know, I can admit the first one's a better film. The Hangover sequels, right? Waiting, as offensive as that film can be, it's fucking hilarious. Still waiting. I don't see anyone talking about it. Van Wilder 1, people love all the sequels though. You know, like it's just like, and it's funny because people talk about horror sequels. I'm like, there are more well-known like horror sequels than there are fucking comedy sequels. Let's be honest for ourselves.
Yeah, it's true. There's very few good ones. 22 Jump Street comes to mind.
Yeah, 22, that one, yeah. 21 and 22 Jump Street are a solid like double feature.
Yeah. And I'm trying to stay mostly in like the 21st century with this stuff. Because
we don't need to talk about like the 6 Police Academy films. Or 7 or whatever.
4 vacation movies. Like we're good.
The 3 Naked Gun movies, the 2nd Airplane movie that doesn't need to exist.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's hard to capture. It's hard to tell the same joke twice and get the same laugh. You can't do it. So it's best to just accept the laugh you got and try to come up with another joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, like I said, unless you have a very solid reason, just make something else. Now, granted, in their case, there's something else with Holmes and Watson. Well, there was the other guys, which was hilarious, and then it was Holmes and Watson. So I was like, all right, maybe now, yes, think about a sequel or have a much better idea for original story.
Well, according to McKay, Ferrell, and Reilly, it's a bad time, Bob. Okay, let's talk some categories here. Scene, performance, music, and line. Where do you want to start?
God, this is a hard one. Oh boy. Let's do line. Let's just get the quotes out of the way.
All right, we starting with quotes. Okay, I've got 4 written down, but I'm gonna probably say a lot more.
I have so many written down. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, start us off.
So I'm gonna go. God, fuck. All right. To start off, let's start from the beginning. One of my favorite, just quick throwaway lines when they're at the wedding, and she mentions how he got fucking fired. He's like, I wasn't fired, I was laid off. And he walks away, and you just hear him go, "This wedding is horseshit."
My favorite bit of that whole thing is in the middle when he just holds up his plate and he goes, I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times.
So good.
This wedding is horseshit. Like, oh my God. Yeah, what a great tone setter. uh,
Oh,
I love after that when they're driving to the new house. And first off, the fact that he's in the fucking back seat cracks me up.
when he could be in the front, he's a full-grown adult.
He's 40. And he just goes, I'm not gonna call him dad. He goes like, you're a grown man. I wouldn't expect you to call him dad. And he's like, well, I won't. Not even if there's a fire.
I'll drop that motherfucker.
Better not get in my face. God damn it. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Their first meeting when they it's like
You should call me Nighthawk.
You call me Dragon. That's the fucking tension.
Oh God. Dude, this movie is so quotable. One of my all-time favorite quotes, I think it's just an all-timer from the movie. Everyone quotes it, but I know you touched my drum set, or I know you're lying to me, because cops doesn't come on till 4.
When he stands up, you crazy? You sound insane right now.
Hey, right now.
One of my all-time favorites, my cousin Miles will randomly shout this at me if like he's waiting on me. Dane Cook, pay-per-view, 20 minutes. Let's go.
If this film wanted, other than obviously like humor taste has changed in the years since this film came out, that is the most timestamp way to date this film is fucking Dane Cook.
And it's just the perfect, like, if we needed any more evidence that Derek is a raging douchebag, of course he's looking forward to the new Dane Cook.
Yes. Because this was back when like Dane Cook was huge. Like he was like, hey, the new Dane Cook special is coming out.
You remember pay-per-view? Like,
yeah.
I can't believe that was a thing. Like,
dude, that's how people would watch fucking stand-ups. That's how people watched fights when UFC got fucking went hard into the pay-per-view business. I remember concerts, if you're gonna go see it, hey, we're showing it live on pay-per-view.
Yeah. You gathered at, a friend's house who like bought the fight or bought the show, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's long dead.
Yeah. And now streaming's changed on. Now you're just go on fucking ESPN or YouTube. You can actually just fucking type in YouTube concerts now and you get a full, very much nice looking complete live show on YouTube. Obviously Netflix has honed in hard on stand up, so you don't have to get on Dane Cook on pay-per-view. You can just fucking look his ass up. Netflix probably. Or whoever houses his shit. I don't know who houses his shit actually.
I've never searched for it. I don't know.
Look, I'll admit at that time, because I was like young enough, I did like Dane Cook stuff, but it's not something I've gone back to. I've quoted some of it that has lasted, but I'm not going back to it.
I just love that line. It's like the greatest, dickhead thing to say.
Dude, it's such a dickhead thing. It time capsules the movie perfectly, and it's the best way to make this guy go, yeah, this guy's a douchebag.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
Oh god. Oh dude, easily like when they're fucking getting ready to do the interviews and they're like, all right, are you ready for your interviews? Like, actually, we have an idea. We'll go and do it together. Yeah, we're here to fuck shit up.
Hello, Ms. Lady.
Hello, Miss. Is your name Pan? No, Pam. I'm hearing Pan. I think I can help with this when he pops out behind him. Oh, we have an idea. How about we interview you?
The fucking tuxedos and everything, and I love that it's Seth Rogen's at first, like, it's ironic. You seem cool. and the fart happens.
He lets out the fart. Is that onion? Tastes onion. He's like, you know what? He's like, it's in my mouth. You know what? The suit seems a little fucked up now.
Oh man. Another favorite is when like the first night when they're in bed and
You don't say that.
yeah, let's say that. It's like, this is a house of learned doctors. And Brennan just goes, "You're not a doctor. You're a big fat curly headed fuck." I always love that.
The only reason we're letting you and your mom sleep here is because your mom's hot. Me and your dad are going to rail her out.
Oh my god. You go to
And then when she's
I'm gonna punch you square in the face.
When she's looking at my chest hair going down to my bra throat, shut the fuck up.
Oh my god. We're like the shit with the door open. We talk about pussy. Like, we have never done any of those things. Oh my god.
That was so funny. The last time I heard that, I fell off my dinosaur.
We're gonna talk about that scene big time. When we get to scenes, I love that bit.
Oh, I'm saving that for like scene. That scene is just great.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, god, what else? Oh, dude, obviously, like the big fight we mentioned earlier with he had the craziest look in his eyes. I do like later after their fight, and he thinks he kills him, and he's like, "I'm not dead. No, you're a zombie. I gotta bury you."
I'm not dead. I'm alive. You're waking the neighbors.
Ring neighbors, shut up.
When that first fight over the drum set that ends up in the yard, I don't know why, but the fucking seeing eye dog getting involved and him just going, Cinnamon! Kills me every time. One of my favorites is after they crash the boat and they go home and Richard Jenkins has a meltdown. He just goes, "You're failures! Failures!" That's just weird.
Yeah. He has a moment where he's just cracking.
I fucking love Richard Jenkins in this movie.
Oh, Richard Jenkins. Look, all right, we'll talk more about them when we get to performances, but like the Hermanstein version really do hold their own against these guys. Like they do a good job of almost being more straight laced compared to those two.
Yeah, like when they go into their bedroom asking permission to make bunk beds.
It's the annoyance on his face.
Yeah, he's just like, why don't do it? Like, I don't care. Like, you should be worrying about other things. And they're like,
so
like,
let me try this again. I don't give a fuck.
God, you imagine the failure you have to be as a parent to still have your 40-year-old son living with you, but acting like he's 10.
God, that would. Oh God, I can't imagine. I do that. I mean, it makes for a great comedy film, but in real life, that's a nightmare.
That's a personality disorder. That's there's some narcissism in there. Like, that's an unfixable situation.
We have so much room for activities. You gotta come in here. It's so bad. It's so bad. Why'd you let us do this? It's such a bad idea. Is
that Randy Jackson's autograph? Well, yeah, I ran into him and all I had was a sword. And you're not gonna not get Randy Jackson's autograph.
You look like you want to punch me in the face. Go ahead, punch me in the fucking face.
I love when they're at dinner and like Derek's, dominating the conversation and Dale accidentally like breaks his flow. And his son goes, "What's this guy's deal?"
I like the change when like he has that, then at the end of the movie when he's trying to dominate, and finally we talked about this. Shh, stop. Oh, sorry.
When he tries to hug Brennan and he like can't. He doesn't know how to show affection of any kind.
I like when he slips. Should we hug? Yeah, you like that, and then a certain word I'm not going to say on the podcast.
He keeps leaning closer, and like it reverts back to like punching. And he goes back in. God damn it, man!
God. And then obviously one of the most immortal lines that like everyone associates with this film, other than the cops comment, "Fucking Catalina wine mixer."
Fucking Catalina wine. You
Catalina.
want to hear something awesome? There was no such thing as the Catalina wine mixer until this movie came out, and now every year at Catalina, there's a Catalina wine mixer.
It's amazing.
Also, they couldn't get to the island of Catalina to film this, so they filmed it off the coast, and in the background, you can see the island of Catalina. They just left it in as a joke.
God damn it. Oh God. Oh, when Derek's trying to sell the fucking house and they keep thwarting him.
Give us some privacy. He just died last night. It was the asbestos in here that did it.
We're good, guys. Fuck you, Derek.
I love his fucking like realty sign says like my homes are nice, baby.
Yes. Why are you talking like that? What are you talking about, dog? That's how I always talk.
Oh my god.
The first time when like John C. Reilly is like dressed up in his KKK outfit and Will Ferrell's on a Nazi uniform, that was it. Sing whatever the fuck he says, basically suck my nuts in German. I die every time.
Eat shit, Derek. I love Rob Riggle's weird obsession with Will Ferrell's face.
Something about your face.
Can't hear anything you're saying because all I want to do is punch you. Like
if I got it fixed on, no, just something about your face. I love when he goes to get the secure the wine mixer and he just keeps going, oh,
pow,
pow. Like, is he okay?
You did a great job here, but if you don't like I'm gonna like what does he say? Like if you don't change your face, I'm gonna change.
Bust my nut, I'm gonna have him eat your dick or something like that. And he's like, did he really do that? It was in international waters. They couldn't acquit him. But yes, I saw him do it.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, I watched a deleted scene or extended scene of that. The POW thing, they had it like apparently it was longer originally, and he finally he's having a heart attack. That's why he keeps going POW.
Oh, they should have left that in. All right. Let's move on to performance. So everyone in this movie is fucking hysterical. Everybody. If you had to pick one person who quote unquote wins the movie, who is it?
Oh God. That one's tough. To me, it's like I'm choosing between obviously our two leads and John C. Reilly and Refer, but also Adam Scott. Because what I love about him so much as like a comedian, he's apparently a super nice dude in real life. Like everyone talks about how nice he is and super nerdy, like loves Star Wars. But he plays a dick so good. And oh God, you know what? I'm gonna go a little left field and actually stay away from our two main leads when they're great. I'm gonna give it to Adam Scott. Like when he comes in, he just plays this douchebag that you hate, but you're dying laughing at the shit that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, the whole like fucking sweet child of mine. We're gonna get to that.
Oh God, or the whole like Brendan has a mangina. Brendan has a mangina.
Anybody who refers to their like like their salary as their nut is just such a dick.
Oh he first sorry is not. He has to see Dane Cook on pay-per-view.
20 minutes. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. I love
he's oblivious to like his wife cheating.
Yeah, like they literally burst into the room. He is inside her, and he's just like, "Where's that beer, babe?" Like completely.
You know what really makes me laugh in that scene? Because again, and keep in mind, for those who haven't seen the kids are in the scene eating dinner, and I love like the first time they burst through, and like the position is he had her leaned against the wall, so he's behind her, but still inside her, and I love when they're trying to play it out. He's like, "I'm really working out that spasm," and she orgasms. Kills me every fucking time. Yeah, it's really deep. You should go, huh? I'm like, oh God damn it. And it's in front of like the grandparents, the kids, her husband, and they're all oblivious. And I love like he bursts in the second time, and this time he has like her in a damn near porn position that only a porn actor could pull off. He's like holding her, yeah, like holding her. Her legs are just spread, and he's in there. I'm like, they're again oblivious.
Yeah, it's funny as hell. When when Catherine Hahn like corners him in the restaurant and fucks him in the men's room and
Yes,
uses the urinal.
and she's
My
like, all right,
God.
that was fun. I gotta go pee.
He's like, I love you.
It's so funny. And don't get me wrong, like Catherine Hahn, like honestly, what's funny? Like I remember when I first saw this, I didn't really think anything of it. But more recently, like I think projects like The Visit and her turn as Agatha, like I've been like, Catherine Hahn's not that bad looking. I remember I never saw her. Then I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, I forgot how like raunchy she is in this movie.
God. I think that I have to give this to Richard Jenkins because it's so outside of his wheelhouse and he is holding his own and has just gets in some great jabs. You wrecked my boat, you goon. Like shit like that. It's yeah, he's fantastic and just this, normal dude at the end of his rope because he's in a situation that he can't control.
Yeah. I love it when you finally I want to do something when after Ferrell like launches into him. I mean, you can the only time you need to touch my beautiful saint of a mother, you geriatric fuck. Where he's like, that's it. I'm gonna do something that should have happened a long time ago, and starts fucking spanking them.
I
But
love
then
it.
when it gets,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, when he gets serious, he's really good at that. Like the scene after that during Christmas, and he's just fucking depressed. And she's like, but it's Christmas when he's leaving to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And he's like, oh, Merry Christmas, and leaves. I'm like, oh,
Dude, when he delivers a line like tonight at Cheesecake Factory was the happiest I've been in months. Like, damn, dude. That's a hell of a revelation.
yeah, really, especially because I'm like, you're married to Mary Steenburgen, and she still wasn't looking bad in this movie.
My God. Oh, um, I do think, yeah, everyone's great. John C. Riley and Will Ferrell have always had impeccable chemistry,
Yeah.
and this is their finest hour, I think.
Oh, they're so good. And again, even outside of like I said, like Mary Steenburgen does do really good in this film. She tends to play a little more straight laced, but when she has her moments of like what the hell is going on, she does really good with it. Um, so I mean, yeah, she's good. And again, the people like again Seth Rogen in this real quick and Rob Riggle, like the cast for this is just fucking great.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah, and Andrea Savage as a therapist, like rebuffing Farrell constantly.
But
Did she
also,
really?
he does get into her head.
He does with the whole lumberjack. I've traveled thousands of miles to implant my seed in you. Why would you say it like that?
When she like at the end of it, when she's like, but Brennan sure does wear the shit out of that pirate hat. Like,
Yeah. I like when she comes over to the wine mixer and she's like, no, I am not here in any kind of romantic, sexual way. It's because he said he was going to kill himself or something like that. And then like Mary Steenburgen, oh, I get it. You're playing hard to get. And she's like, you're an enabler. You're enabling this.
Let's talk music. So there's no score here, but it is a great soundtrack. And I mean, we got to start with Boats and Hoes.
Boats and hoes. Boats and hoes.
Gotta have me my boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
Oh my God. It's iconic. It's ridiculous. And they recently performed it with Snoop Dogg, which is amazing. Check that out if you haven't seen it yet. It's so good. Yeah, it's like the defining song of the movie. It's they try to launch their like global enterprise company, Prestige Worldwide.
Right.
Why?
Hey, who's steering the boat? No interruptions during the presentation. Please be quiet.
I love the visual like cringe, like It's like he's dying when he sees the boat crash. my god, yeah.
He's cringing and like Derek and shit are laughing their ass off.
Yeah, they think it's a joke. Where did they get the chicks for the music video?
Where there's money.
They didn't have any money.
I don't know. Dude, look, this is the thing. I have seen like some like there are rappers and like rock dudes that do some low budget videos, and they same thing. They pull in like women. Usually they know people in their cases, they are people that have been established in that kind of like scene in that world, so they pull people they know.
Yeah.
In their case, I have no fucking idea what they get these women.
One of my favorite touches of that scene is Catherine Hahn being super into it.
Yeah, she's like dancing.
Aside from the damage to the boat, which we will fix, what did you guys think of the presentation?
I think that was a Steenburgen's quick little throwaway. That's offensive.
Yeah, boats and hose, easily the most iconic music moment of this movie.
Well, one of the two most iconic, I should say, because the other one, let's be honest with ourselves, it's just as iconic. Happens at the Catalina wine mixer. I'm sorry, the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Well, sometimes it's hard to keeping the faith.
I'm sorry, sir. We exclusively do 80s Billy Joel.
Strictly 80s Joel.
Hey, you know what, motherfucker?
Take your skank wife and get out of here.
That's it. You busted my nut.
I love that I do love that they say they're 80s Joel. People are like, Piano Man.
Yeah.
Dicks.
Also, why would you just like, I'm not saying I'm a Joel savant here, but like, why would you relegate yourself to just the 80s era?
That is his worst era. Like, there's some good songs, but like his heyday was the 70s. Like, the good stuff is the 70s Joel. So like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, I mean,
that you don't have anyone who can play the piano. That's why.
Right, and also that could just be like the joke. You know what I
mean? That's the joke, but like in the universe, like it's because they don't have anyone who can play the piano.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, like dude, like this has become like up there above. And I was like one of the most iconic things. Like, and I love this up to this. Like, you have God damn it, John C. Reilly's character. I just somehow mind blinked on his goddamn name.
Dale.
Dale. Thank you. Go up there and start doing his trums, making a fool of himself, and finally Brendan goes up there. And look, I don't know. So I know Ferrell can drum. He is actually a really good drummer. Because for anyone that knows, like a whole thing about him looking like the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. And Ferrell actually showed off. He knows he can play. I don't know if he can actually sing like that. So I don't know if that was like a.
I looked it up. Right, John C. Reilly is doing his own drumming, and Will Ferrell is doing his own singing.
So wow, man, Ferrell does have a good voice on him. Holy shit!
I mean, admittedly, Brennan's not exactly, he's not Andrea Bocelli here.
No, but still, like even I didn't know Ferrell could even do that. But yeah, you get this other iconic scene of them completely doing this amazing serenade that moves everyone. It causes Derek to have a flashback to when they actually got along. Like,
I love how far back he had to go.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't gotten along since like he was like 6.
Yeah. It stopped being good times then. The therapist also finally starts to think like, I do want this in her vision, this man's seed implanted in me.
Yeah, it's very touching. Porti Volare is the name of the song. It's made famous by the opera singer Andrea Bocelli. It's like one of his signature tunes. And I've heard it performed by him, and it is fucking magical. It will bring a tear to your eye. That man is one of the most talented vocalists on the planet.
I'm glad. It's done really well. Like it's almost like I always forget, like in a movie filled with the song Boats and Hose, and then you have this song, you're like, what the hell? How did they pull this one off? And it be so amazingly beautiful.
It truly is. Yeah, it's a hell of a finale. I love that he breaks the like ice swan or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, funny. Wow. But also you got you got John C. Reilly in the back randomly going, boats and hose.
Oaks knows. I do like the little the drum solo he gets, and then Richard Jenkins rock the fuck out of those drums, Dill. Sorry.
I love the admission where he's like, I hate to see you guys so crushed and normal. Like, they were losing their personality. I've been
Yeah,
there. You get into the droning day to day of work life. You start losing a little bit of who you are and what makes you exciting. And you gotta
yeah,
hold on to your dinosaur. You really do.
yeah. You gotta hold on to what makes you you, and even like with me, people have always said like, man, like, I always get covered like, oh, you're such a nerd when I get real excited when it comes to like movies and music and stuff. I'm like, yeah, and they don't say in a negative way, they say in a positive way, and it makes me happy when I hear that because it's like good. I haven't changed, here I am, about to be a year older, and I haven't, in my opinion, changed. Here I am. I'm still very much the person I was since I was obviously older with more experience under my belt, but I am who I am still, and I always will try to be, regardless of my age.
The second like Eli Roth releases a new horror movie and you are indifferent about it, Josh and I have to save you.
Yeah, you should be concerned because
Yeah.
right now I am so goddamn excited for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I will
We gotta
be
figure
there.
out, we're gonna have a team intervention and we're all gonna write you a letter.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the things I love, if I'm not excited about them, there's probably something more going on, and you should be concerned. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I know you
yeah,
well. I will recognize that.
yes.
Uh
So, well, yeah, it is a really good message to put in the movie. Because yeah, you do. You get so like you're so caught up in like the zaniness and like the absurdity and the comedy. Then when you get to the point where he's like, "Oh, thanks for picking my catering company," he's like, "It's a really easy choice. Still, you guys had a great rating." It's like, "Oh, I don't like this. Go back to your goofball antics. It's funnier that way."
yeah. When Brennan's like panicking because he got fired, he's like, I'm gonna do the sensible thing. I'm gonna file for unemployment and I'm gonna try to get a job at Enterprise Rent a Car. They have a great corporate structure, and they give you the tools to be your own boss. He's just having like a meltdown.
Yeah,
Every time I see an Enterprise Rent a Car, I just instinctively think they give you the tools to be your own boss because of this movie. Um, I love Derek's proper introduction with his family a cappella singing "Sweet Child of Mine" in their minivan.
God. Look, there's so many ways this film shows you how much of a douchebag this guy is, other than just like the Dane Cook. Dane Cook, pay-per-view, 20 minutes, let's go. You have this. This is the introduction. So I'm doing like an acapella of Sweet Child of Mine, which I'm like, look, I know Guns N' Roses don't exactly like that song very much themselves. For anyone who doesn't know the history of their attitude towards that song. Um, but like most people, I love that song. I think it's one of their best songs, and they butcher it. It is funny though when like he lets Catherine Hahn sing, and he is just insulting her, just
Flat,
so
flat.
flat,
twelve
flat.
hundred dollars a week I pay for for singing lessons, and this is what you get.
And she's just like kind of mumbling. She's so like not wanting to do this. And I love when he's like, "And now I'm gonna save it." He starts singing it.
I could sing high like this, and he almost kills them.
And then as soon as they recover, they go right back into it.
But it's not like it's not Derek who like it's the son who irritates me the most.
Oh my
The way
god.
he's singing, he is kicking Axl Rose in the balls with every lyric.
Oh yeah. And look, say what you will about the man, the myth, the legend that's Axl Rose. The dude can sing.
Yeah, he can sing. He can sing high like this.
I liked later and like when Richard Steenburgen's asking what they are getting for Christmas. And was the logo was like, I really think I want breast implants because I'm just not happy with the development of my body yet. And Richard Jenkins, hey, you know what I got for Christmas? Crushed soul. Yeah, you said that, Grandpa.
A crush soul. I forgot about that one. Oh, I love when they're like they announce the divorce and Brennan and Dale start crying and they're like, "Is it our fault?" And Mom's like, "No, it's not your fault." And Richard Jenkins like, "Let's be real here. It is 100% your fault." Just lays into them.
Yeah. I'm going to wake them up. Don't do that. You shouldn't do that. I'm enough of this shit. I'm waking them up.
Oh my god. Oh, all right. That's a great segue into scene. There's some amazing scenes in this movie. What do you got?
God, dude, what do I not have that we haven't fucking talked about? Let me look at my phone real quick.
Here,
Oh, let's go with the initial dinner scene.
all right, that's exactly where I was gonna go. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't know it took me a few watches to realize that only Dale and Brennan are eating chicken nuggets.
Yes, and fries, nuggets and fries.
Yeah.
Now look, first, quick aside. Let's destigmatize that is only for kids. I am in my 30s now, and I still enjoy every so often nuggets and fries.
Yes,
so
but at a family dinner, you don't get your own chicken nuggets.
No. I'm going to eat whatever the hell's been cooked. Yeah, I'm going to eat whatever the hell's been cooked.
It's so confrontational. There, Brennan's like slurping the Gatorade, and
can I have this
hogging the ketchup?
I like when like Brennan puts his hand in front of the secret sauce to make sure he can't get it.
He calls Robert. He calls him Robin.
Yeah, Robin. Hey, Mr. Novak, you don't have to call me that, Brendan.
Okay, go back. All respect out the window. I love that little weird like balls song Dale does, and Brennan's like, "That's cute. I remember my first beer." And he does that dinosaur joke, and Brennan starts crying.
He starts crying.
It's like they're fucking 8 years old. It's so funny.
It's the best fucking thing. It's watching two grown men act like how children would. They're eating chicken nuggets and fries. He won't share the secret sauce. They're like disrespecting the other person's parent. Like it's like literally watching what a child would do in a situation like this where two single parents get married and bring in the blended family, but we're watching it with two grown 40-something-year-old men. It's hysterical.
It really is. I love the following that when Dale gives Brennan a tour and he starts saying bullshit stuff about the house, like the house was built in 1860 by General Custer. Oh my god!
Now, the most important thing, you see that? That's my Trump set. You don't touch it. Oh, okay, don't touch it. That was me at like a 7. Don't make me go up to a 10.
I love the hell chant music that goes like to the drum set. Like, oh, we're coming back to that.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah. I love the scene where Dale punches Derek out of the treehouse.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah, it's like you look like you want to punch me. Go ahead,
Yeah.
punch me in the face. Punch me in the fucking face, and Dale just pop.
Yeah, and I love how he even resorts to being a kid. Mom.
I love that so much. Mom. Oh, and I love later. I love how, you stood up against the one they called Derek.
I love how that makes them become friends. Are we best friends now? Yup. Do you want to go in the basement and do karate? Yup.
Oh my god. Yeah. Hysterical.
I like when they fucking do the night vision in the goddamn bedroom. He turns the light on and Rofo lets out that scream. Those who don't know who listen, don't turn lights on when you're wearing, if you have, for some reason you have night vision goggles on you, don't turn lights on while you're wearing them. It hurts.
Yeah, it does. We already talked about it at length, but my favorite scene in the movie is the fucking "I always wanted to be a dinosaur" monologue. It really is so stupid.
It's so, I think for me, it's 100% the fight in the yard. And we talk about God, that is such a beautiful moment. And then having to call their parents. And I love the quick little throwaway when we go to the Jenkins place of work, and the doctor quickly tries to be like, he tries to make that comment talking about his family. He's like, yeah, he has a family emergency. And then that lady, I don't believe in talking bad about fellow coworker behind their back. You know, no one likes you, right?
There's never, there's no wasted comedy moments in an Adam McKay movie.
No, especially at this time, you always had to be prepared for like a comedy like moment to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like when like the slow mo that happens when they hit each other and knock each other out, and then Mary Seymour, what the fucking fuck?
When they have the like, the grounding, like the punishment, and they take away the TV, and we get another immortal line we haven't really talked about, which is, this house is a fucking prison on planet bullshit in the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks. Oh boy.
God, do they know how to just fucking keep a joke going?
The commitment to the bit is just magical in this movie. It really is.
God, that's what made so many of these things work, was just the commitment to the bit. I do also really like the scene, and it kind of goes with like the music, because like I said, we don't really get a score. But also, one thing I've always kind of talked about, like I know I've talked about it at length before when we talk about like my nostalgia, if you will, for like when you would hear like a heavy metal song at the end of a horror film back in the 2000s. Like you're watching Saw 2 from 2005. The moment the credits roll and Mudvayne's Forget to Remember kicks in, you're like, there it is. I did love like the type of music we got in the comics back then, like the upbeat, like pop punkish songs we got back then. Like the opening credits. But also like this one always cracks me up when like they're moving out and you get the family Bible song. The who's gonna take the family Bible, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's such a great moment of sheer like depression watching them have to like finally be adults.
Dude, when Will Ferrell like runs out of toilet paper and uses the fucking bath mat.
Oh God.
And then goes to Costco and is like, he got a full roll of toilet paper. He's like, I know how to take care of myself.
Right? I'm like, oh man, look, I'm gonna say this as an adult. I make sure to always have toilet paper. I will never in my own home have that issue. And in public, never, ever sit and do your business in a public stall until you have checked that there is toilet paper.
That's the best advice we can give you today.
Here's the best advice. I can also say, I mean, I always did that, but as someone who had to do two deployments on a U.S. Navy vessel, check. You don't realize how good you have it with the restocking of public bathrooms until you've been on a Navy vessel and realize they don't like to restock.
Oh, Jesus. I would just shit off the side of the boat. I don't care if I got in trouble or not.
You just learn to make sure you have your own toilet paper at all times with you.
Smart move. That's also a good idea.
Yes.
I'm probably going straight to DEFCON 1 on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trust me. I luckily never had an issue, but I would hear people learning of the hard. Many a times I'd be, you hear the guy next. We're all getting too TMI here. The guy next to you, hey bro, do you got toilet paper over there? Yeah, hold on.
Eesh.
Yeah, the joys of what we did to defend freedom and democracy around the world, as the Navy likes to say.
Well, I think that's a good segue to our final segment here. Let's take a look at what Letterboxd has to say about this movie on our segment, What's in the Box?
What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
3.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Pretty good.
Not bad. I mean, I would think it'd be higher. I'm still really shocked. Like wow, I thought this thing had a much better reception than next. Almost everyone I know loves this movie, but okay.
Oh yeah, I've got 4 for you here. 3 really negative reviews and 1 positive.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh yeah. This is from Memento 0415.
Ooh, I'm a Memento fan, I'm assuming.
I don't think this person's a fan of much. Literally the only movie that has ever forced me to walk out of the theater. The girl I was seeing at the time stayed behind while I went to Jack in the Box. Needless to say, that relationship did not last long thereafter. Fuck this movie. Half a star.
And my response to that is fuck you.
Yeah.
The Gore You Left sounds way more fun. Because once you finished a really funny movie, and two, you went to Jack in the Box. Of all the fast food joints to go in the United States of America, Jack in the Box?
You left your date at the movies and you went to Jack in the Box. You are the dick here.
You really are. Like, look, man. You played a game to get a prize that I will not go into detail about because most guys know what we're talking about. And you decided to walk out and eat Jack in the Box. And also leave your date. Like let's get in. Did he pick her up? Like, and this was in what, 2008, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Uber wasn't as big as it was now, I believe. So like, did you just leave your date? Like, how'd she get home? Like, did y'all meet there? Hopefully, please tell me they met there and she was able to go home. Like, there's a lot of questions with this, but it all equals him being the dick in this situation.
I think that later on, you also, you had some Jack in the Box once again.
Yeah, which, if he had just played his cards right and finished the movie, could have had a much better time after the movie. But hey, he chose Jack in the Box for dinner and dessert.
This one's from Neferoku. I've never once smiled through this entire movie. Half a star. Aren't you special and fun? I bet you get invited to parties all the time. Hey, let's get Roku or whatever the hell it was. They don't smile.
He's that guy at the party that stands in the corner judging everyone. I don't ever seen that? It's like if you go, like, everyone else having a great time, he's in the corner just judging. You're like, what's up with that dude? And everyone's like, I don't know.
We can't invite his brother without inviting him.
Yeah. It's
a
funny
weird thing to brag about. Like, this movie didn't even make me smile one time. Well, you sound depressing and dull.
You sound like I don't want to hang around you.
Not a brag.
Look, I don't know if it's like, this is not me trying to pull like some film credit here. So I'm not saying like, look, I went to a film school and I was like, look, I got the snobbish comments because I said I liked horror films, for Christ's sakes. But when you watch certain types of horror films and you see certain types of films, you're going to realize Step Brothers, not exactly the worst thing ever. Just saying.
No, this is a 5 out of 5 for me. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, trust me, I have seen the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Step Brothers is nowhere close to that.
That's actually a fantastic segue into my next review.
God, I'm good tonight with segues.
Right? This is from Willie Nash. The most predictable garbage. Adam McKay is the U-Bowl of comedy. Half a star. That is insulting as shit. And we all know it's Friedberg and Seltzer.
Yeah, okay, look, are these people like unaware of like the parody films we got back then? I'm not talking like Scary Movie, because the first two Scary Movies I'll defend. I think they're funny. But I'm talking like, was it Meet the Spartans, fucking superhero movie,
epic movie, disaster
movie, date movie, there you go.
Super Fast, all that shit.
Yeah, like I married a 40-year, it has a long ass title, it's fucking stupid.
I think I know it. The 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it.
There you go, that one. Yes, like you watch those. Those are predictable. Those are bad. Like, first off, Step Brothers, not. Do you think this is a predictable comedy? Like, I want to say right now, I'm not saying we haven't seen this concept of like a man child before in comedy, but not like this.
To call him the U-Bowl of comedy.
Yeah, the U-Bowl. Like, so you're comparing this guy to the same guy that gave us Blood Rain, House of the Dead. What else did he? Oh, Alone in the Dark. Whatever other dumpster fires
did he do Far Cry or Postal?
I think he did Far Cry. I don't know about Postal.
Right.
But basically, like a lot of shitty films. The same guy that couldn't take criticism, so he challenged all the critics to a boxing match because he's a big tough guy. Which I don't think anyone actually answered to. Wait, I could be wrong. I have to look it up again. But really, you're going to compare it to that? No. I have seen some Yuri Bowl films, unfortunately, in my lifetime, and they are badly acted, badly directed, badly written, badly edited, and looked like dog shit. This is none of that.
I have not tapped into you, Bowl, because I have, in my film journey, I have managed to keep a hold of at least part of my self-respect. So I have not yet decided to look at that guy's work.
Oh, but mine went up a window a long time ago.
Well, I know.
Gee, thanks for the backup, buddy.
No, I've seen this. I can see the movies behind you. I can pinpoint where.
Don't you throw them into this.
And this last one's from Matt. If you don't laugh at this movie, you're wrong. 4.5 stars.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. There's not a lot. Comedy is extremely subjective, but this shit's funny. If you don't see that, I honestly think you are the problem.
Yeah, or obviously, part of the younger generation that loves to not find these things funny and talk about how offensive it is.
AKA the problem.
Yeah. And like you said, look, comedy is very much subjective because I'm sure that same youth I'm just talking about now could easily throw out come back at me with you're just old and aged and out of date, because I don't find a lot of their more modern, we're not trying to offend anyone comedies. I don't find them that fucking funny. I know a lot of the was it Booksmart? I know a lot of people like that film. I didn't. I just was look, you're trying not to offend anyone. You're kind of pandering, in my opinion. You're trying to be as PC as possible, and that's just not funny to me. Whereas Superbad, which Booksmart pretty much was a fucking newer take on Superbad, yeah, you're right. It's offensive. It's fucking out there, and it's it's not trying to pander anyone. And you're right. I find it more funny. So yeah, you could totally be well, you're just out of touch, out of times. But okay, sure, valid, cool. I don't care. I still think Superbad's funnier, and yeah, I think this movie is hilarious. And if you don't like it, well, hey, I don't want to hear about how fucking offensive you think it is. Just get out of my face and let me enjoy Step Brothers.
Well, I'm glad to see you're not holding a grudge.
Not actually.
Well, I still love this movie. I think it's hysterical. It's currently streaming on Peacock. If you want to watch it for yourself, I have the Blu-ray. I will always have the Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, I have the Blu-ray also. So I watched it.
Mm-hmm. Funny fucking movie. Happy 15.
Yeah, funny movie. This is easily 4.5, 5-star film for me. This thing is just fucking makes me laugh every time I watch it. It's just so good.
This was a blast. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like the show, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest films for us to check out, you can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com or send us a message through the socials. Check out our Letterboxd accounts for daily reviews. You search for me at Connor95, and in my friends list, you can find the rest of the team. Check out the website, filmgazm.com, where I have a link to that letterbox. You can also find articles, trailers of upcoming films, and every episode of our show. If you'd like to become a monthly donor to Filmgazm Productions, click on the link in the episode description. From there, click on Support This Podcast. You can choose to donate $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month, and all donations go right back into the show. Thanks to the entire Filmgazm team for their contributions. Thanks to Cooley Cow for our awesome theme music. Thanks to you for checking it out. Never lose your dinosaur. Take it easy. Keep watching movies. And we'll see you next week.